They know their stuff and they can walk you right through. And then, the last time I called them, then they sent me an email. I didn't ask them to. They had my email somehow. And they sent me an email with all these directions, and even though they had told me on the phone and I had written them all down, and then I got an email and I thought, I love these people. So that made me really happy.
If you're looking for a Macintosh program, I have used Reunion, which is a good Macintosh program. And they're very helpful. I don't use it now because we switched to a PC, so I went to Ancestry, but Reunion is, I like the way Reunion worked very much.
Any other questions? Yeah.
If you want to come here and look at the newspapers, do you call ahead?
Oh yes, you should make arrangements because the newspapers, they're bound and they're down in the cellar of the building. And so you do need to make an appointment to see the newspapers.
Are birth certificates private now? Can you access birth certificates?
If they're dead.
Excuse me?
If someone is dead, you can.
Thank you, that's all you need
Oh,
to
you
know.
used to be able to, yes.
Thank you. There was some discussion.
Do you mean at City Hall, at the clerk's office?
I can't be specific, I just knew that I thought that was throwing a wrench in some of them.
Well, one thing that happened last year that you might be aware of is now when I try to do research for other people, I can't have access to death certificates and birth certificates anymore because I have to prove that I'm a relative. And they've cracked down in Auburn on that. I know the last time I tried to get something for somebody else, because you now have to be a descendant or a family member and you have to have some proof. The legislature passed that in August, I believe it was. I sent it to some other people who I know do research in Maine, and they were very unhappy with that.
So doesn't that kind of curtail anything for you?
Pardon?
Does that kind of stop you from?
Well, it certainly curtails some of my efforts for other people.
If it's over 100 years ago, then you don't have to be a relative.
Oh,
I just did that with my great-grandfather.
That's helpful.
And you can get a genealogical research card. You have to pay X amount for it, but you can do that, and then you can research. Your records are not yours.
And you can get that in Augusta.
Would you repeat that for me, the first words you said?
A genealogical research card. You have to pay for that, and like she said, you have to get that through Augusta.
I have a couple questions and I have more information too to share. The Google, the newspaper things, how do I find that online? Is there a web address or?
Well, it's something like www.google.archives.
Archives.
And you also, do you live locally?
Yes.
You'll see her refer to it in sunspots often, sending people to that URL to get into the Google archives. She tells a lot of people how to get into the newspapers.
And the other thing is, I was going to say, FamilySearch.com is the LDS, the Latter-day Saints. But again, you do have to be very careful because you have just regular people doing family research and uploading information sometimes. And then you have other people in registries and probates and things looking at information. And if they can't read it, it could be. But FamilySearch.com could help you.
.org.
I think it's on org.
Thank you.
.org.
Okay, it's family search on my computer, I don't go anywhere. The other thing is I have found that if you have a date of death or a date of marriage, to go into the newspaper where they died or were married and find the obituary.
Yes.
My grandmother was married in 1922 and I have the write-up from the newspaper where they talk about what she wore and who sang what and all the friends that were there. It's just really, really fascinating. The other thing is on the state of Maine, I go to Maine marriage records and Maine death records. The death records are only from 1960 to 2009, But the marriage records start back in the, like 1890 or something, and they go today. although they don't have all of them. Mine isn't there. And a lot of my friends who got married around the same year here in Auburn are not on. But nevertheless, sometimes it will help you if there's a couple of marriages up by the same person. You know, if you're checking Ben Jones and he got married twice, it might be listed there twice, so that's fun too.
There's also a Maine Genealogy website that gives you the results of FamilySearch.org, the marriage archives. It puts a lot of them, and I only found that maybe a year or two ago. Maine Genealogy, but it calls from a lot of different places. The other thing I might mention is, I brought one page from the Netherlands. There are a lot of countries now, not just Canada, where you can access official archival documents online. It's not that a person posted it and claiming they know it all. Like these I have, this is from one of my great-great-grandfathers, and I can prove it because at the bottom is the web address, which is www.dutchgenealogy.nl, meaning it's from the Netherlands, / etc., etc., etc. And that's because I've been there quite a few times now, all of their towns and all of their provinces have posted all of their archives. Every marriage, every birth, they even have all of their emigration and immigration records from the Netherlands. And just been in the last maybe 2.5 years. And there are a lot of sites like that now that are the official archives, and they post them, and it's a miracle. They're free. They're free. You just have to use the same criteria as try different spellings and be very open-minded and say, oh, the other thing I have is I have 2 binders that I call remote relatives possibly. So when I find something that might be one of the people I'm looking for, I don't want to put them in with my real divisions. I put them in this other place because I may want to go back to them another time because they might turn out to be the 3rd wife of whoever the person I was looking for, but there's something just not right about it now. I don't discard it, I don't throw it away. I copy it from wherever, you know, if I'm in a library or in an archive firsthand, I copy it and I pay for it and I take it because it might turn out to be. So I've learned to be much more open-minded, and sometimes I squint at things, and if the spelling is kind of maybe right, could be. You know, I'm just not so exact as I was initially, because I thought I knew what I was looking for, but there's all kinds of surprises out there.
In terms of getting the obituaries, if it doesn't work, these other methods do not work. One method I found was to go to the Register of Probate office and look up the file of the particular individual and look for the petition for the administration of the estate, and the death date is on that. And that has been a way that I've been able to find the obituary in the newspaper by going from the date of death a few days hence. So I've done that quite frequently. Yes, back in the back, Matt?
Just to elaborate on the pictures that you've done, another good place to go, if you go on Facebook, there are some people that are already doing their family genealogy, like I'm part of the Gandhi Bellavants. So we're sharing a whole bunch of information. They have pictures of their grandfather, they're posted on their website. We share our pictures, so it's a good place to share family photos with each other. Because there may be somebody in Canada that's doing their Canadian half. And as far as getting a family Bible, you can check on eBay. You'd be surprised to see somebody's selling a family Bible.
Okay. Well, maybe we should call this to a conclusion. We could go on for all night as far as giving advice and so on. but this may get you started, and I hope this has been helpful. We do have refreshments, and we can talk a little bit further if you care. Okay, thank you very much for coming.